Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Sally Lemus. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. Maniagaha has some new residents who are protected and fiercely territorial. Also tonight, some new birds are about to take flight from Korea's second largest city. And the local corrections chief wants prisoners to cook for themselves and says they need to spend money to save money. In sports, shuttlecocks are flying this week as world-class athletes take swings on Saipan. Stay with us, we have these stories and more up next.
What's the move?
April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month. CNMI Public Law 21-17 restricts the usage of mobile electronic devices while operating a vehicle. In 2020, 3,142 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. Eating or drinking while driving will undoubtedly require you to take your hands off the wheel at some point. Whether you're eating a burger or reaching for a drink, eating or drinking while driving will distract you from operating your vehicle safely. When you eat or become distracted while you drive, you're not focused on what's going on around you. If your eyes and focus are not on the road, your reaction time will be slower and delayed. Delayed reactions can cause serious car crashes, and in most cases, it only takes a split second. Drive safely, CNMI. You drive, you text, you pay. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the CNMI Department of Public Safety.
Double Filet-O-Fish sandwich for double the flavor, just in time for Lent. For limited time, served after 10:30 a.m.
Half a day to the Wami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Friday, June 9, 2023. Maniagaha is the jewel of the NMI. It's by far the #1 tourist attraction, and we begin tonight a series of stories on the island, its habitat, and its future. Our Chris Nelson has more.
It's currently $10 per person to enter Maniagaha Island. The tax is collected at the pier as visitors exit their boats. Maniagaha currently does not have a master concessionaire, something that DPL is still in the process of organizing. Currently, there are 3 business operators, one who rents chairs and umbrellas, another that sells food, and another that sells drinks and snacks. They're all currently operating under 1-year permits with DPL. One thing that is striking is the sheer number of birds. These birds are black noddies, and they are happily nesting here. These noddies are protected under the Migratory Species Act. However, they don't actually migrate, and during COVID, they quickly set up camp on Maniagaha, and why wouldn't you? A beautiful island, no predators, close to a food source, and even though some tourists have returned, they don't show any signs of moving. Nature has made quite a comeback, and there will inevitably be some interactions that we haven't seen before. Skippy used to live here on Saipan and is visiting with his girlfriend. The birds surprised him multiple times from above. What's your day like today? What's Monongahela like? It's a little more natural than it used to be.
Yeah, exactly. It changed so much, and I think there are a lot more birds. I got a lot of bird poops.
Yeah, just now.
And yeah, it feels very surreal.
Ocean water showing its true colors, all of them pleasing.
The ocean is so beautiful. This color, you can never find it in Korea. Even in Jeju Island, my parents just moved there, but this color is so beautiful.
Next week, we'll take a look into some of the future plans for the island, its vendors, its winged residents, and its visitors. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
This summer, Jeju Air will be offering a new direct flight to Korea's second biggest city. Jeju Air has announced that it will begin direct flight service between Busan and Saipan this coming July. Jeju Air's CEO Lee Bae-kim made the announcement during a meeting with Governor Arnold Palacios, MVA Acting Chairperson Gloria Kavanaugh, and Managing Director Chris Concepcion. CEO Kim said that the Northern Mariana Islands is one of the top destination markets for Koreans, and this additional route will help meet the growing demand. He added they are also looking at other ways to increase seats and flight service to the CNMI. The new route will begin on July 19 and is already on sale on the Jeju Air website. The route will be evaluated to determine whether it can sustain a longer period. Jeju flies 2 flights per day between Saipan and Seoul, and beginning June 29, it will offer a 3rd daily flight. That promotion will be a month long, ending on July 19. Governor Palacios and MVA leaders are in Seoul this week, meeting with government, airline, and tourism partners. A bill that would amend bail conditions for certain individuals is strongly opposed by the Public Defender's Office, who says it's unconstitutional. The Bail Reform Act is a measure that would allow the denial of bail for violent repeat offenders and impose strict release conditions. Chief Public Defender Doug Hardig has expressed their opposition to the bill, stating that it is unfair, unconstitutional, and that there is no need for it.
What it does is it tends to negate the presumption of innocence. And people who are just simply accused of a crime are then put in jail, and it makes it very, very difficult for anyone to get out of jail. And my position is, and my thoughts are, and I've been joined by many other lawyers on the island, that it violates the right to a reasonable bail, which is guaranteed by both the United States and the CNMI Constitution. So we're definitely opposed to it.
If passed and signed into law, it would mandate violent repeat offenders who are arrested again to stay in prison and wait for their day in court. Hardig does not agree with that.
The way things are supposed to work and do work is that the judge has discretion. He can listen to facts from both sides, from the prosecutor's side and from the defense side, and he can decide, is this person a risk? Did this person, for example, plead guilty to or is convicted of assault with a weapon within the last couple of years? That person you may not want to let out if they are accused of assaulting someone.
The bill was originally named after a hostage victim, Keisha King. King was kidnapped by Gordon Kostrew, who was out on bail for 2 pending felony cases, while at the same time on probation for assault with a dangerous weapon. According to Hardig, there is more to that story, which is not being addressed.
I know her. I worked with her. She worked through this office. So she's not a name that I'm not familiar with. She's a person that I knew reasonably well. And I would say that the problem in that case, and nobody wants to talk about this, but the problem there was you had an individual with mental health issues, drug addiction, and had access to a government-issued firearm. No one's talking about gun control. No one's talking about regulations within agencies that have firearms. And there's your issue.
Hardig says there is a small number of convicted individuals who are out on bail, probation, and parole who go out and commit another crime.
You can count those numbers on one hand or less because it's very, very small. Most people on bail, even if it is a serious crime, do not offend while on bail. That's a fallacy. We have one example within the last several years. Things went terribly bad, mental health issues, drug issues, access to firearm issues. Those are the issues in that one and only case. And there's a saying among lawyers, right? Bad facts make bad law. And you're going to make a whole body of law because of one situation. That's a bad idea. And that'll come back to haunt other people for a long time.
The Attorney General's Office Criminal Division, on the other hand, is in support of the bill. Chief Prosecutor Chester Hines submitted his comments during a hearing, stating that the bill takes a strong stance on offenders who commit felony offenses with victims involved. Hines says they have seen too many times repeat offenders get arrested and released on unsecured bail the next day. Hines says the offender could return to the victim's residence, delivering even more violence, which results in more trauma for the victim. He says some victims are too afraid to stay in their home and are forced to seek protection in shelters, and says that the bill is vital for keeping victims secure and safe. The local prison spends more than $500,000 each year for catering services. And as budget hearings continue up on Capitol Hill, the prison chief says they could save money by cooking in-house. The CNMI Department of Corrections told the House Committee on Ways and Means that they spend about $600,000 on catering services each year. Corrections Commissioner Anthony Torres says when the prison first opened in 2018, it had a fully operational kitchen facility.
Well, the kitchen has not been used since 2008, and DOC has relied exclusively on catering services for the inmates. DOC would like to request $250,000, $250,000 to renovate and upgrade the kitchen facility.
Torres says if they are successful in reopening the kitchen, there would be a public-private partnership with management of the facility and training of inmates. Inmates who train could get a certification in an accredited culinary program and earn a salary of 75 cents per hour.
So catering costs over about $600,000 a year. With the public-private partnership plan, this can be reduced to less than $300K.
Representative Manny Kostru recognized the advantage in giving inmates a salary.
There's a lot of opportunities to prevent recidivism within the CNMI if we have more programs for inmates and getting them ready to get back into the society for those that are going to be released in the near future. But for those that are in there for a while, we should have something for them to, because they still have families outside.
Another measure in mind that could potentially generate revenue for the prison is housing inmates outside the CNMI.
Current federal per diem for DOC is $82 per inmate per day. At 200 inmates at $82, that'll come out to approximately $16,400 a day, or $5.9 million per year.
Torres says they currently house 180 inmates when the facility can accommodate 500. The 200 beds can go to hand-pick outside inmates who are non-violent, young, and healthy. Torres also mentions that one pod inside DOC currently houses juveniles, but if they are moved out the facility, the pod could accommodate more adult inmates.
Anytime a juvenile is moving, everything ceases, everything stops. And, we average anywhere from 2 to 4 juveniles in that one pod. And in that one pod, we can house approximately 130 inmates, maybe a little bit more once we equip some of those cells to have 2 bunks.
Priced at $100 per inmate per day, the DOC could earn $5 million in a year. All right, coming up after the break, it was a fight over hundreds of millions of dollars. One of our former newscasters talks about covering the aftermath of the death of Larry Hillblum. More news is next.
The best addresses in Saipan has office space available now, right in the heart of things. The Mariana's Business Plaza offers reasonable rates and can help build to suit your needs. You'll love the central location, just 15 minutes from the airport and 10 minutes from Garapan. Ample and covered parking keeps your vehicle close and protected. 2 restaurants for easy access, lunch, dinner and business meetings. Building security and 24-hour access to your office. Backup generators, so you can run your business in all weather. And 3 elevators mean easy and convenient access. It's the address in Saipan, the Mariana's Business Plaza.
All workers have the right to a safe workplace. Employers must provide a workplace that is free from recognized hazards and comply with applicable OSHA standards, including proper reporting of injuries. Training needs to be done in a language and vocabulary employees can understand, and an OSHA information poster must be displayed prominently in the workplace. Workers, you have the right to raise a safety or health concern with your employer or OSHA without being retaliated against, and request an OSHA consultation of your workplace if you believe there are unsafe or unhealthy conditions. OSHA can help. Free assistance to identify and correct hazards is available to small and medium-sized employers without citation or penalty. So look out, speak up, and stay safe. Job safety and health, it's not only good practice, it's the law. Check out OSHA.gov or call 664-3154 or 3155.
Get your goods here with care and attention with Micronesia Air Cargo Services. MAX is all about connections. Daily flights to and from Guam, 4 times a week to Rota, and bi-weekly flights to Tinian. We are connecting the Marianas. Perishable goods, Home Depot furniture and appliances, even live animals, operating since 2013. Check out our Thursday special to Rota from Guam and Saipan. Call Max at 670-288-6227. If it fits, we'll take it.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. It's been 28 years since DHL founder Larry Hillblum died in a plane crash in the Northern Islands. Tonight, we take a look back with a local news anchor who covered the ins and outs of an estate battle that got attention around the world.
Over the years, reporting and managing local broadcast news in the NMI, we have had the good fortune to work with and around some great reporters, photographers, and editors. Each person has brought some unique talents to the job. We've had an Adriana, an Andy, and Ashley, Brad and Brian, Kathy, Delbert, and Elaine, Jillian, Jing, and Jeanette, an Elizabeth, and a Morgan, a Sunny, and a Sonia, and a Sally, a Young, and a Virginia, Tone, and more than one Tina, Sablon and Chow, respectively, et al., which is Latin for and others, and then there's our emeritus professor, Bob Coldine. Whether you were primarily behind the camera, in front of the camera, or even below the camera, the good ones share common traits: intellectual curiosity, creative storytelling, commitment to the truth, and also empathy that is softly tempered by professionalism. One of our favorites, Chow Win, who brought all these traits and more to her job reporting in the Marianas.
Good evening, Commonwealth. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chow Win.
Now, I never got to work directly with her, but her professionalism is part of the bones of our local news. And this week, she's back on Saipan with her family and able to show them where her career started.
It's surreal being back, right? So I was here from 96 to 98, a very extraordinary experience in my young 20s, my first TV job.
Our cable system in the 1990s was owned by Larry Hillblum, the H in DHL, a reclusive billionaire who moved to Saipan and started a number of businesses, including Marianas Cablevision. Hillblum was one of the first investors into Vietnam. His picture still sits in the Dalat Palace. Hillblum died in a plane crash up in the Northern Islands in 1995, and his employees at MCV were part of the search effort. Hillblum's body was never recovered, and there was a battle over his estate that even brought OJ's lawyer, Johnny Cochran, to Saipan. Welcome to the show, Miss Wynn.
That was not only a big local story, basically on a weekly basis, but a huge national story. So it was so unique to be a young reporter, a young journalist here, to cover arguably the biggest estate case at the time in the world, and all the dynamics that you know, and all the inner workings and intersections of this community and Larry's estate and fortune and the people involved. That was really fascinating. I still look back at that and it's like, can you believe you covered such an interesting big story?
Hillblum had a will that left the bulk of his fortune to UC San Francisco, but he also had some illegitimate children. Under CNMI law, they had a claim to his fortune. Only without a body, it was hard to prove paternity. The battle raged on, and Chow, who covered cops and courts, was tasked with reporting the facts, even with her employer a party in the lawsuit. Tricky times for a young reporter.
I had a co-anchor, Travis Kaufman, who has now passed away, but he was always very good about saying, and protecting me and compartmentalizing, saying, you know, we're here to cover the news. You might see the CEO in court, you know, in this estate trial, but you just do your best to cover the facts, Chow. And that's what I was tasked to do, and I think that we did a good job in separating those divisions, because, yeah, that could look really like a conflict of interest, but we did our best not to. And I think in the long run, we did okay. We managed okay.
Since leaving the NMI, Chow has reported and anchored for big companies in big places like Houston and Atlanta. She says her first job left a lasting impression.
Local news is very interesting, right? Usually local news stations are run by big media conglomerates, the Foxes of the world, the big media companies. I never felt that working as a full-time journalist. I never felt that I was conflicted in any way. If anything, I think that here in Saipan, you do feel that, because they are your neighbors, your bosses, your friends, your allies, right? But even in this market, in a place like the CNMI, I never felt like I wasn't able to do the job that I was tasked to do, and that is to tell the truth and be a truth seeker and a storyteller.
One person against 200. Chicken wings, that is. Taste will be hosting a fried chicken wings eating contest on Saturday night. You won't want to miss it. Earlier this year, we featured a local wings competition that was all about heat. 10 wings, one at a time, with each one hotter than the one before. Some exponentially hotter. The heat measured in Scovilles, and the local competitors lined up for a chance at glory. Garden hoses were nearby for those who couldn't handle the heat. And this weekend at the Taste of the Marianas, the chicken wings will be more about quantity than heat, as 10 competitors will face off against 200 chicken wings each. Ina's Kitchen will be serving up the wings in a challenge to see who finishes it first. Whoever finishes those 200 wings first within 1 hour will take home the title and $500. If no contestant finishes the 200 wings in time, those who eat the most will receive a $300 gift certificate for the first place, followed by a $200 gift certificate for the second place, and the third place winner will get a $100 gift certificate. The gift certificates will be redeemable at Ina's Kitchen in Saruktasi. No word yet on if the heat seekers will go for quantity, but with an attempt to eat 200 wings, you may want to keep the buckets nearby. Tonight's sights and sounds come from the Marianas High School Glee Club.
And it's a great honor and it gives me so much joy to be able to welcome you all to the Rhythm and Harmony Glee Club's Pure Imagination concert.
The Glee Club started off this week's performance with a rendition of an old favorite from Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was the last performance of the school year for this year's Glee Club, and for this year's seniors, they will perhaps be singing a new tune this fall from the MHS Gym for the Channel 2 News.
All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We have sports up next.
Need a new phone? Trade in now and get up to $500 off our best 5G devices. Trade in your older phone in any condition and step up to better savings and speeds only our 5G network can provide. Check out our website and catch up on the best mobile experience. Trade in now. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Premium office space is available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park on Capitol Hill. Features include dedicated parking, fast internet, backup power, good water, and natural light throughout to go along with the very best views on Saipan. So don't settle for space when you can get peace and peace of mind. Call Hermosa Vista today at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com. Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
The Tan Su Lin Foundation promotes the culture of giving back. The foundation and its generous partners are committed to supporting programs that include health, education, and sports. Initiatives that promote arts and culture, the environment, and tourism will benefit our community and our residents. Giving back and making a difference will help ensure that the island paradise we call home will be a better place to live.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
world-class athletes are here on Saipan to play badminton. Let's take a listen from some of the officials. Organizers, sponsors, and players for the two badminton tournaments, the Crown Plaza Resort Saipan Northern Marianas Open 2023 and the Take Care Saipan International 2023, gathered for a press conference on Monday night at the Crown Plaza Resort in Saipan.
Thank you all for being here, and I'm happy to share with you that this is a big deal for badminton here in NMI. So we started badminton in 2009, and at that time it was only for recreational. And we never imagined that one day we'll be hosting a big tournament like this. So this is our first time to host an Olympic qualifier. So we really did not know in the beginning what to expect, but we are here now. We're embracing it, right? We're overwhelmed, but we are managing. I think well, of course, with the help of the Badminton Oceania.
Badminton Oceania CEO Julie Carroll is very happy to be back on Saipan and to help organize these two big tournaments.
Badminton Oceania has 17 member countries. We are one of 5 continents under the umbrella of the World Federation, the BWF, and we oversee these tournaments. We've only ever had 4 other of our member countries host an international tournament. So you are number 5 to host a tournament, and you have certainly put Northern Marianas on the map. And I was at our World Body meeting last week, and people would go, "Where is the Northern Marianas?" And what a great entry you've got into your tournament. So it is a pleasure to be able to be here. And it's a
Carol was here last year for the Pacific Mini Games.
And it's a direct result of the Pacific Mini Games that were here less than a year ago. And it was because badminton was on the program here, and we got all good equipment. We got a very good organising team. Merle and your team, you were fantastic. Whatever we asked them to do, they carry it out very efficiently and to a very good level for us. And following the Pacific Games, which were very successful, we then said to Northern Marianas Badminton, how about we host an international? We have this vision. And they grabbed it. They grabbed the opportunity, and it's been lots of planning, lots of meetings, and here we are with over 200 people brought to Saipan for 2 weeks. So we're very pleased to be here. We very much thank all the sponsors and everybody that's involved. Thank you.
Northern Marianas Sports Association President Jerry Tan was present to welcome the officials, players, and organizers of these Olympic qualifying tournaments.
Hafide and Tiruwami, on behalf of Northern Marianas Sports Association, I'd like to welcome back Julie. Julie was here last year with her team and helped in supporting and organizing and carry out a very successful Pacific Mini Games in the sport of badminton. I still remember the conversation Julie had with some of us. What about an international tournament? Well, you know, it's a good idea, but I never imagined it's really happening a year later, exactly a year later. And I know we have a couple top world-class players on this table right now. And just to imagine this is an Olympic 2024 Paris qualifying, and just to see some of the players practice yesterday and today, we just really did not expect that to happen.
What's the move? Cash
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goat's Gym, and today we're going to go over the kettlebell deadlift. Fantastic exercise to build overall strength, particularly in the legs and hips. Remember, we want to make sure that our setup is in good position. If you set up in a bad position, it's not going to look good and it's certainly not going to feel good. So a common error setup is obviously a rounded upper back. 2 simple ways of correcting that. All I'm gonna have Vince do here is extend his arms up here, and all he's gonna do is think about reaching long and pushing his hips back. Reach long and push your hips back. So as you can see, he's already in good position. Now all he's gonna do is grab that kettlebell. He's got tension in his legs and in his back. All he's gonna do is just stand up tall, finish with his glutes.
And for your KSPN weather report, today mostly sunny with isolated showers, east wind around 5 miles per hour. Tonight partly cloudy with isolated showers, light northeast wind, high 85, low 77, humidity of 79%. Tomorrow mostly sunny with isolated showers, calm wind becoming east around 6 miles per hour in the morning. High 85, low 77, your marine forecast. East wind 5 knots, wind waves 2 feet or less. East swell 4 feet. Tonight, east wind 5 knots, wind waves 2 feet or less. East swell 3 to 4 feet. Tomorrow, southeast wind 5 knots, wind waves 2 feet or less. Mixed swell west 3 feet and east 3 to 4 feet. The sunrise will be at 5:46 a.m., high tide at 10:26, low tide 6:06 p.m., and the sunset 6:46 p.m. And there you have it, Marianas. That is your Friday edition of the news, sports, and weather. As always, we thank you so much for watching the Channel 2 News. We hope you have a great night, a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.